The Devil Unmasked. The shocking truth about the origin of evil religions never told you. Satan exposed the cosmic adversary fighting for your soul. Have you ever wondered why the figure of evil is so present in our culture? Why is the devil often portrayed as a horned, tailed being, an adversary fighting for our soul in an eternal battle? The image most of us know comes from a powerful legend, that of Satan, the fallen angel. But what if I told you that this figure, as we know it today, is the result of centuries of theological evolution, a narrative created to make sense of evil in the world? This is where our journey as historians of sacred mysteries begins, diving into the oldest mystery of the Bible, the devil. The Bible, the foundation of Christian faith, presents Satan as the great adversary of God and humanity. He is the serpent in the Garden of Eden, the tempter who challenges our faith, the accuser seeking our downfall. His figure is essential to the narrative of salvation. If humanity was deceived and corrupted by evil, then the death of Jesus becomes the only path to redemption. In this context, the devil is not just a character, he is the driving force of the story. He is blamed for all the pain and suffering in the world, giving us an external enemy to justify our own wickedness. Deconstructing this concept leads us to a deeper question. What does the Bible really say about Satan? And what has religion hidden about the origin of evil? The idea of an all-powerful devil, ruling over hell and fighting God as an equal, is an interpretation that solidified over centuries, but it's not the only one. And this interpretation shapes our view of a God who, while being love itself, is also forced to face a powerful enemy. This duality creates a crisis of faith for many and stirs a deep sense of injustice. Here's your practical action for this first part. Close your eyes and think about your greatest fear. Is it the fear of failure, regret too late, or of temptation? The figure of Satan shapes our behavior, but it can also paralyze us with fear. Imagine how your faith might be if the devil did not exist. After all, if life is a journey of learning, how could a loving and just God condemn a soul to endless suffering? Could there be a greater purpose after death, a second chance? In the next chapter, we will explore the surprising view of Spiritism, a faith that believes in temporary purification, where the soul has the opportunity to learn and evolve. If you've ever questioned the concept of hell, comment eternal fire so I know you're with me. Like this video and subscribe to the Faith Prayer channel so you won't miss the next chapter. Iblis and Pride, the Qur'an's untold truth about evil. In the first part, we uncovered the legend of Satan, the cosmic adversary, who, in Christianity, fights for your soul. But what if the figure of evil wasn't a fallen angel, but a being made of fire whose rebellion wasn't a war against God, but an act of pride? This is the view of Islam, a faith that, although it shares the same roots of Adam and Eve, offers a completely different interpretation of the origin of evil. It's a narrative that invites us to see the devil not as an all-powerful enemy, but as a temptation, a whisper in our minds. In the Qur'an, the figure of evil is Iblis. But unlike the Christian tradition, Iblis is not an angel. He is a jinn, a being of smokeless fire who lived among the angels and was known for his devotion to Allah. But at the moment of Adam's creation, his devotion turned into arrogance. When God commanded all the angels and Iblis to bow to Adam as a sign of respect for this new creation of clay, Iblis refused. His rebellion was not a war, it was a single act of disobedience, fueled by the pride of believing himself superior for being made of fire while Adam was made of clay. This is the root of evil in Islam: arrogance, pride, the refusal to accept the divine command because of a sense of superiority. Deconstructing this story makes us question, which of these two views is more powerful, the one of an all-powerful adversary fighting against good, or the one of a proud being who became a tempter? Islam teaches that Iblis cannot force us to sin. He is only a whisper, a voice in our minds that tries to lead us astray. The responsibility to resist him is entirely ours, a test of faith and free will. Here, the devil does not condemn us, but reminds us that the battle for good is fought within ourselves. Here's your practical action for this part. Think about a time when you made a mistake because of pride, that moment when you refused to apologize or accept help because you thought you were above it. What was the consequence of that pride? Islam teaches that arrogance is the first sin, the root of all evil. By recognizing our pride, we disarm the real Iblis that lives within us. The Islamic view of evil frees us from the fear of an external enemy and places us as the protagonists of our spiritual journey. But what happens if the concept of the devil doesn't exist at all? What if evil is not a being, but a force? In the next chapter, we will uncover the mystery of evil in Eastern religions like Buddhism and Hinduism, where there is no figure of Satan. If this idea that the battle for good lies within resonates with you, comment pride so I know you're with me. Like this video and subscribe to the Faith Prayer channel so you don't miss what comes next. Faceless evil. The hidden teachings of Eastern religions about darkness. If the Western view of evil gave us a personal enemy, an adversary fighting for our soul, what happens when the devil simply does not exist? What if evil were not an external being, but a force, an energy, a part of our own nature that must be purified? This is the perspective of Eastern religions such as Buddhism and Hinduism, which invite us to dive into our inner conflict to discover the true origin of darkness. In Buddhism, the origin of suffering and evil is not a being, but a state of being. In Hinduism, although there are demonic figures like the asuras who oppose the devas or gods, they are not seen as an all-powerful devil. They are part of a cosmic balance of force that exists to test and purify faith. Here, evil is the result of our own karma and our disobedience to dharma, our divine duty. The misfortune we experience is not punishment from a devil, but the consequence of our own actions in past lives. The battle is not about defeating an enemy, but about evolving the soul and uniting with the divine. Deconstructing these ideas frees us from fearing an external adversary and places us as the main characters of our own spiritual journey. Here's your practical action for this part. Think of a time when you felt anger, envy, or hatred. Where did that feeling come from? Was it placed there by a devil? Or did it arise from your own insecurity or unfulfilled desire? By understanding the origin of our own evil, we begin the path to purifying our soul. The Eastern view of evil invites us to a profound journey of self-healing and purification. But which of these visions is correct? What does your own soul tell you about the origin of evil? In the final chapter, we will compare the three perspectives and invite you to find your own truth. If this idea that the fight for good is within resonated with you, comment inner conflict so I know you're with me. Like this video and subscribe to the Faith Prayer channel so you won't miss what's coming next. The awareness of evil, comparing Satan and Iblis, and the battle within. Our journey has brought us to a crucial point. We've explored the path of the devil as a cosmic adversary in Christianity, encountered Iblis as a proud being in Islam, and finally understood evil as an inner conflict in Eastern religions. 3 paths, 3 truths, 3 possible destinies for our soul. But which one is the real one? As a historian of sacred mysteries, my role is not to give you an answer, but to give you the tools to find your own. And the first step is to listen to your own inner voice, the voice of your conscience. The Western view of evil teaches us that good and evil are opposing forces, and that the devil is the great villain we must defeat to save our souls. It's a narrative that gives us an external enemy to justify our own wickedness, removing our responsibility and driving us into a constant search for forgiveness and redemption. The Islamic view, on the other hand, invites us to a journey of humility and repentance. Iblis is a reminder that the greatest danger to our soul is not what comes from outside, but what comes from within: pride. The final battle is not against an external enemy, but against our own ego. This is a vision that offers the hope of Allah's mercy, but demands the price of sincere repentance. And what about Eastern religions? They teach us that evil is not a being but a force, a state of being, a part of our own nature that must be purified. The fight for good lies within us, and our destiny is entirely our own responsibility. It is a vision that frees us from the fear of an external enemy, but requires a high level of self-knowledge. Here's your practical action for this final part, and it's the most important one. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your soul. Which of these 3 narratives about the origin of evil resonates most deeply with you? The idea of an eternal and irrevocable judgment, the possibility of purification for spiritual growth, or the promise of a scale balancing justice and mercy. There is no right answer, only yours. The journey to uncover the sacred mysteries of the devil has ended, but your spiritual journey is just beginning. Evil is not merely a being, it is an idea that shapes who we are, what we fear, and what we hope for. If this reflection touched you in any way, comment "My truth" so I can know your conclusion. Like this video. If you're ready to uncover the mysteries of your own soul, subscribe to the Faith Prayer channel so you don't miss future content, and share this video with someone else who is seeking their own truth.